Is your cell phone the first thing that you look at when you wake up in the morning and the last activity that you do before you go to bed? Well, you are not alone. Many of us, all of us, are feeling overwhelmed, distracted, and quite frankly, mentally drained by how much screen time we're getting on a day-to-day basis. Most of that screen time is focused on social media, and there are ways and there are things that we can begin to do to take back our control over social media instead of social media controlling us. Today, I want to give you some tips, some strategies. I'm even going to give you a list of activities that you can consider doing to replace social media. So hold on to your hats. We're going to get into that, as well as some grounding techniques, some actual things that you can do to begin to replace some of those habits of being on social media with more productive and more wellness activities to bring engagement, to bring community, and to bring happiness and joy back to your life. So let's jump right in. So screen time is draining our dopamine. It may seem as though as you're scrolling through and you're hitting likes and you're commenting and you're sharing and you're DMing and all the things that we're doing on social media brings us a sense of temporary fulfillment. We're getting that dopamine hit. And what's the dopamine hit? The dopamine hit is the happy hormone that tells our brains that we're doing something pleasurable, that we're doing something that feels good, and then it motivates us to keep doing it over and over and over again. But have you ever noticed that when you're on social media, after you've scrolled and you've been on your phone all day long, you still feel unfulfilled? You feel exhausted, you feel depleted, you feel mentally drained, and it's not serving you to be on social media all day long. And so the negative impacts of social media, some of this may sound familiar, is fatigue, it's anxiety, it's poor focus, it's sleeping problems. It can disrupt your sleep. And also it's really just a way to keep you disconnected from real life. I find it really interesting that there's a lot of people that like, comment, share, do all the things. They're so involved all day long on social media. Social media for many of us is robbing us of that community and that connection that we desperately need as human beings on this earth. So I really want you to think about the impacts of social media and ask yourself, what is going to be the hardest part of reducing your social media and screen time? What are you missing? What are you really going to miss, right? And now may be a time for you to do a social media cleanse and a follower cleanse. Let me talk a little bit about that. So ask yourself, do you have to be on every social media platform? How is that serving you to be on every social media platform all day long, commenting, scrolling, and doing all the things that you're doing all day long? What is that pouring into your mind, your spirit, your emotions? What is that doing for you? Maybe it's time to cut back on how many social media platforms that you're on. Maybe it's also time for a follower cleanse. You know, maybe you started following somebody 5 years ago and maybe what they were saying at the time was relevant to your life. And now what they're saying isn't really relevant anymore. And so it's important to be able to control and take inventory of the people that you follow, because as we know, all of the apps are algorithm based. So the more that you stay connected with certain people and the more you comment and the more you like and share and do all those things, that app thinks that you like that content and they're going to keep feeding you more of it. That's why you sit here and you go, why do I keep getting these feeds? Why do I keep getting these advertisements? It's because you've liked, you've commented, you've shared, you've done something to let that app know that you like that content. And that's why you're in the rabbit hole. So consider some of the things, that I'm talking about. One of the things that's going to be really, really hard is replacing social media and even your screen time with another activity. So let's talk a little bit about this dopamine menu, right? So we mentioned the fact that social media is just that quick hit, that happiness. You get your fix and you're like, woo, I feel good. But we already know that quite frankly, at the end of all of that, at the end of the day, we're really, as I mentioned before, unfulfilled. So this dopamine menu, and take a look at it, it's really dope. And shout out to theeverygirl.com. And it doesn't matter if you're male or female, it doesn't matter, how you identify. These are some great ways to replace your social media behavior and your screen time behavior with things that you can do. Jumping jacks, a quick meditation, turning on music and dancing, going for a walk, right? All the things on this dopamine menu, with the exception of the desserts area. Stay away from the desserts area on this dopamine menu. And this is just an example of things that you could be doing, right? A dopamine menu, in the way that I want you to think about this, is instead of relying on social media for those quick dopamine hits, let's build a menu of activities that naturally boost your mood and your well-being without engaging with technology. And that's really the thrust of this menu. And again, this link will be in the comment section along with the question that I really want you to be thinking about as I'm going forward with what I'm sharing. What's going to be the hardest part about cutting back or reducing your time on social media and on technology? So if you like what you're hearing so far, go ahead and hit the like button. We'd love to know that you love what we're talking about, and this also helps get the word out. So let's keep going. So I now want to talk to you about this idea of regrounding and really breaking free from social media, as I said before, and technology and this digital overload that we're all experiencing that you have control over. I want to say it again. You have control over. You can't blame this app or this, that, and this, whatever, and how you got sucked into this movement and now you're at home doing all kinds of things, trying to keep up with what's going on in social media. No. You can stop doing those things, go back to that dopamine menu, and you can also do some of the things I'm going to talk about now to help manage those triggers and those behaviors that you used to do before. Scrolling all day long is a behavior, and behaviors form habits. And so it's going to be, for some of you, kind of hard to start cutting back or even cutting out some of the things that you used to do. That's why that dopamine menu and putting your own together is going to be so key, but also grounding. And what grounding is it's a method to reconnect you with the present moment. And it involves all kinds of different things. Grounding can be something as simple as mindful movement, such as putting on a song and dancing. It could be walking barefoot around your house. It could be walking over to your kitchen and making yourself your favorite cup of tea or coffee, or cooking your favorite meal or making your favorite snack. It could be also something that's called hand to surface grounding, where you're touching an object. And so instead of touching your phone, you're touching something else, right? And so it could be where you have certain things around you, a bottled water, a cup of coffee, your favorite book, your gratitude journal, something that you can touch that is meaningful to help bring you back to reality. One of the things that I like to do, and I'm not a crystals person, but I do keep this crystal, and this is for a couple of people that I have to interact with on a day-to-day basis. I like having this in my hand, and that helps bring me back to the present moment. Not really for social media, but really to help me manage my emotions when I'm engaging with certain people at work. So I'm not saying to go out and buy crystals, but this is something that I do. You've got mindful movement. You've got a hand to surface grounding. But the thing I really want to talk to you about is the importance, my friend, of breathing. So many of us are wound up so tight. We're not even breathing properly all day. We have shallow breaths. We have slouched over postures. We're not taking in enough oxygen to even help our brains to refocus. So it's so important to look at breathing techniques. And we're going to talk about one today. And I'm also going to share a link to that resource in the comments field as well, because I want you to have it. And this breathing technique is called the 4-4-4-4 breathing technique. And it's a technique used by the Navy SEALs. Come on, y'all. If the Navy SEALs can use it, you and I can, right? And what it does is it's a way of breathing to help bring us calm, regrounds us, and recenters us. And it's called the 4-4-4-4, or it's also called box breathing. So this resource that you're seeing right now is just something I'm going to pin for you in the comments field as well, because I want you to have this. I want you to be able to click on it, print it out, put it in your cube, because it's something that you can do that's so simple that can help you bring yourself back when you want to touch your phone, you want to get on that app, or you just need it to get through your day or through a difficult moment just by breathing. So the way this works, the box breathing or the 4-4-4-4 method works simply like this. You breathe in through your nose for 4 counts. You hold your breath for 4 counts. You breathe out through your nose for 4 counts. And then you hold your breath again for 4 counts. So let's try it for 30 seconds. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. If you're running, if you're walking, if you're on the train, just stop for a moment and let's try this for, 15 to 20 seconds, just trying this together. And then I encourage you to try it on your own. Are you ready? Let's go. So breathe in through your nose for 4 counts. Hold your breath for 4 counts. Breathe out through your nose for 4 counts. And then hold your breath again for 4 counts. You can repeat this over and over. It doesn't matter where you are. This is such a powerful way of breathing to do all the things that I mentioned before. So I know that this resource helped you. Again, all resources will be pinned in the comments field. I really want you to have these, print them out and make them your own, as well as make sure that you answer the question, what's going to be the hardest part about cutting back on social media? So again, if you like this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you like what we're talking about. We will continue to talk about a lot of these topics because there's so much going on in the world, so much unrest and so much strife and so much divisiveness. I really want you to have these tools. I know that they're going to help you. So God bless, be well, and let's commit to being more present with the people that are around us, to rest, to focus, and to peace. God bless.